Hey everybody, today we're talking Tinashe's Twitter war and Forbes 100 hot celebrities. All that and more on Black Hollywood Lives this week.
You are tuned in to Black Hollywood Live this week.
Tour back. What up, everybody? Welcome to Black Hollywood Live this week.
We were at my house right now.
Right. Listen, I tried to dance, and then like the headphone caught me. I couldn't even get up the way I wanted to.
Wait, were you at my house when we got on the cabinets?
No, I remember the story.
We are playing
though.
2 Live Crew, Doo-Doo Brown, because we are celebrating them.
That they gonna make a movie.
They're making a movie, and we felt like
Supposedly.
inspired by their music, because I hadn't heard their songs in a minute.
Me either. I hadn't even thought about them in a minute till I saw that article.
Well,
we gonna talk
you know
about
it's
it.
on my playlist. But a rumor has it is that the kid who play RJ something, the kid who plays the Blue Ranger in the new Power Rangers,
Oh.
That he's gonna be the lead.
Yeah.
He's gonna play
Wow.
Luke.
I believe so.
That's
That's allegedly that's what's circulating.
I would watch that. But
I'm really interested because, I mean, you know how like with the New Edition movie, they had they dirty things that went on with New Edition with the girls and all of that, and they
That was
gave
good.
us,
They
they
did
did a good job,
They did a good job,
but it
especially
didn't,
for TV.
It did, exactly, but it wasn't like in
nasty.
2 Live Crew, like what the hell are you gonna do with that?
How they gonna
They
show?
blowing farts out of their noses and shit. Like,
I mean, I don't even know how they're gonna be able to show half the stuff, but
It's gonna be like a porn. Like it should be Vivid. Should
I was gonna
distribute
say
it.
it's probably
Well,
it's got to
listen,
be
anything
soft
is
porn at a
possible.
minum, like.
Listen, we'll see. What's up, everybody? Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Derrial Christon. Joining me is Courtney
guys.
Stewart. I know we didn't even say our names. We just went
Forgot.
right into
There's
Luke.
a show.
You know, it's a show.
We're
We have our
doing
own
a
personal
show.
living room conversations.
That's what
Courtney,
we do.
Courtney Stewart with her
Hey,
shades
y'all.
on. You give me
I'm
some
sorry, y'all. I'm
Erykah Badu.
tired. I just wasn't prepared
Erykah
to be
Badu.
on camera today, so I'm doing something different.
I feel like I'm going to hear you say, "Oh my."
Light some incense.
Right. The other side of the game.
I'm
Maybe
not
not.
even gonna respond to that.
All right, fine. And DJ Jesse J.
What's up?
Jesse, that's a cool little necklace you got on
Thank
today. What's
you.
going on
Rocks
with
by
that?
Stevie. Check
I
out
know.
Black Hollywood Lives The Beat. And you guys can, we had a Stevie on there and
We
he
can
makes
get
these
Rocks
rocks.
by Stevie.
Rocks
That's
by
dope.
Stevie on Instagram.
What is it like? What's at the end? Is
So
it like
it's shoot.
You don't even know.
No, I just forgot it. But basically what happens is you talk to him, you tell him a little bit about what's going on in your life. He picks out the stone that he thinks would best. So what this stone does is, it begins with a tiger's eye.
Oh, dope.
So it like kind of mellows you down and it holds your creative power and whatnot. So he
Well,
talks to you.
I need 5 of those around my
and
neck.
he makes a
man.
necklace specifically for
But I
you.
was just gonna say that's custom.
Is it
every
based
time.
off
That's
any
dope.
like your birth sign or anything like that too, or is it just your
No.
energy?
based off knowing
It's based
you,
off like
talking to
right
you.
now, right now he talks to you what's going on in your life, and then he makes a necklace about with a crystal that could probably bring you positive energy to balance out what's going on in your life.
I need
You would
that
actually have a going for a suit on the carpet. That would be really cute.
Actually, we might need to make that happen.
Okay.
I like
Boom.
it.
Boom. Well, we got a lot of fun topics today and interesting topics.
So,
Sure
Tinashe had an interesting time on Twitter, although she's saying it was taken out of context. But the half Danish, half Zimbabwean, or I don't know, how would you say that?
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe. Yeah, there you go.
Star, whose album Joyride was supposed to come out over 18 months
Wow, it's been that long
ago.
Girl, you struggled.
Was put on hiatus. She blamed the industry, and Twitter took it that she was blaming colorism as well. She kind of had this interview where she talked about how she, as an artist, didn't feel like, and with her skin color, she really fit in the black community, or that she wasn't accepted, even though she feels she identifies as a black woman. She feels like she can't really be accepted in that crowd where she opens up for Nicki Minaj and whatnot, that people don't accept her. She said that there are hundreds of male rappers, but when it comes to a black female, there can only be Beyonce or Rihanna. Black Twitter went on a field day with this one. Mostly because she probably brought up Beyonce.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean between
And the audacity, Tinashe. Another, a lot of people are saying that she's, like, your color has nothing to do with it. In this situation, it's just you need to step it up. Like, Beyonce wasn't born in a day.
Right.
She wasn't. Rihanna wasn't either. Clearly, go back and watch some of Rihanna's live performances. And if you watch The Beat, we've talked about it for the past 3 years. Tinashe has the ability to be a star. Stop blaming it on other people and put the work in yourself, because you can see the amateurness in her performances. She's great, but you can see it. You can see she's young. And what I've heard within the dance community is that you might be a little bit lazy of an artist, and when that shows. I don't believe that Beyonce's a lazy artist. I've never heard
Clearly
that,
not,
actually.
yeah.
So, I mean, I know she says that it was taken out of context, but what did you guys take from this whole...
I mean, it's interesting because
argument,
I was reading the Twitter comments, and you know, some people were saying, after she said it was taken out of context, but some people were saying, well, actually, you're saying that because you're light, she was saying because she's biracial, light skinned, that didn't work to her advantage. But in this industry, we know that actually works to your advantage. Right. I mean, we all know that if you watch any music video, has been the argument of the majority of what you see in music videos. People been mad
thinking Beyonce and Rihanna bleaching.
Exactly. So that should be your advantage. Now, and also some of the comments were saying, like you were saying, that she should just step up. Like maybe her music just isn't that good, or maybe it isn't. Maybe she needs to hire her producers and hire some new producers or something.
Like, you have a song with Britney. Like, this is what happens when you sign to a label. This isn't new. Like, you get shelved. That's why a lot of artists don't want to sign with labels. Like, girl, this is the tea.
2017. Well, I tried to, like, when she's like retracting and saying like, oh, I didn't mean it in terms of colorism, like it's sort of not, I was like, okay, well, maybe what she's trying to say is that in this, world of entertainment, we've seen it sort of with models, and like when it comes to women of color, usually there's like room for one or two, where there could be like 10 white ones. It didn't matter.
Absolutely. That's the truth.
If that was kind of where she was trying to go, then I can kind of see a little bit of that. But in the same note, like I personally, like I said, cannot name a Tinashe song other than the one with Britney, and I don't even really know the name of that one. I just know that Britney's talking about a slumber party and has a really cool blue dress on. So I do think it's a combination, and it's a combination also, like, you can't say like Beyonce and Rihanna, because the reality is they came up in a very different time.
Yeah, I mean, and they've been in the game for a minute.
For a long time, and even though Rihanna came after, Rihanna still came at a time where people weren't quite as YouTube-y and SoundClouding and all of that, yet she still had,
you could put her on a toothbrush and it would still
people put money into their artists still at that moment. A&R departments.
She had the Jamaican flavored lane. There was nobody who sounded like her.
So you're in a different world. Well, she wasn't. It's just Bayesian flavored.
Well, Bayesian. I mean, but it had like that Jamaican feel to it. You know what I mean? Like everybody was like, when she first came out, was like,
she brought that whole dance.
She had brought some Caribbean.
Yeah, she brought the Caribbean. Yeah.
But so Tinashe, I mean, girl, you just need to, how old is she? 22.
She's young too.
25?
That's why I'm like, you just on Empire. You just did the song with Britney, like, and
who
you
was
just
she on Empire?
I don't remember her character.
No, she did like
she played herself.
It was like a Pepsi. It was like a Pepsi thing or something she did with Jesse.
My bad.
But it's just like, girl, come on, I can't. I'm like, this is an excuse. Like, girls would die to be in your position.
Because at least we know your name.
Right.
I mean, that in itself is an achievement.
I mean, that's true. I mean, and when she was saying that, I do agree that that has been an argument that there is only one that's allowed. It's just like with actors and actresses and things. I think it is changing a little bit. I'm almost starting to feel like there's a lot of people out there. It's just a matter of how do you break through all those people that are out there.
That's what it is.
How the hell do you break through that?
Yeah.
You know, what are you going to do that's different? That's not everybody got the same beat, or everybody's got the same flavor, or everybody's got the same dance. You know, that's what Beyonce and Rihanna were able to do with their management was, at least.
And they're very
break them through.
You know, Tinashe, you want your sound to be your sound, but everyone don't mess with that.
Right.
What is her sound?
Wanna get too on.
Yeah, what would you classify her sound as?
Like, what is it?
Mellow.
Is it supposed to be like
mellow R&B?
R&B?
No, I mean, it's for sure she's R&B, but I mean, it's like that mellow, like she wants to be trappy, but she's not, and it's like...
Yeah.
I mean, like, here's the thing. I think she's great, but I think she's like a Sierra. Like, it's like that you're gonna hit a glass ceiling at one point, and I just think that that's something you probably built that house. Sorry, girl. Speaking of houses, Katy Perry was locked in one all weekend long.
She was.
And I was so intrigued by it. I'm not gonna lie. But yes, ever since I had my little Google Chromecast, I'd just be casting up onto the TV.
I lost mine.
I have an extra one.
Sorry.
But so I'm watching it, and it was actually really interesting. And I haven't been into the whole Katy Perry trying to promote this album thing, but I thought the concept of her being in a Big Brother house and seeing the... I guess it's because we're in production, too, so it's like to see that live, it's interesting. And then to get the interviews and all that stuff. But she actually had an interview where she sat with Black Lives Matter activist D-Ray McKesson, and everyone is kind of buzzing about her commentary on her cultural appropriation. Basically, they had started to reflect on the video This Is How We Do, where she had, as you can see in the picture, cornrows,
laid baby hairs.
Yeah, little baby hairs, some shanties, and watermelon in the video and whatnot. And she came out to say, she said, after when I got a lot of slack for that, I listened, I heard, and I didn't know. I didn't know I was offending anybody by doing this. I thought it was, fun. I thought it was playful. I won't ever fully understand because of who I am and my experience, but apparently one of her friends talked to her about black girl magic and how black girl hair is magical, and and explained that to Katy, and Katy respected that, and she said the only thing that I can do is to educate myself. She even brought up when she did the whole Japanese thing. She was like, I didn't know that, like, and in my head I'm like, girl, like, for someone like you didn't ever watch Mulan, like, you never seen the geisha movie, like, you don't know what the, like, it's just kind of like, so I don't know. I appreciate that she, as a pop star, dares to even, like, touch that kind of conversation, because I can't imagine Beyonce, or I can't ever imagine. I always go back to, like, the old school, like, pop artists, like if Britney Spears ever sat down to talk about, like, race relations, like, what? You know what I mean? So, like, the idea of it, but I don't know. It just is kind of like, I didn't hear, like, an apology, really. I didn't hear, like, a full understanding of, like, I just have to educate myself. And it's not about people getting mad when they see a white person do this. It's about educating them in a positive way. Like, hey, let me teach you this. Here's a life lesson. You shouldn't wear cornrows and eat watermelon because it offends black... Like, girl... It's like common sense shit, though, at the end of the day. Like, I get you want to be artistic with some things, but then there's, like, you're taking things to an ignorant stance. So, like, I don't know.
I mean, here's my thing. I appreciate Katy trying to venture off and try something different. I do feel like she's late to the train. I mean, I feel like this has been done 50 million times by some random white pop girl who is trying to feature something different. I mean,
what you mean, like
to actually have the conversation?
No, I mean, just like the look, just like her looks and what she's trying to bring to the video. I mean, Miley Cyrus has already done it. You know what I mean?
But I'll give this: what she said, if you really if you think about, like, the videos, once she did it and got slack for it, you never saw it. Wasn't. It's not like it wasn't like it was repetitive. It was with a different culture, and then she probably just thought, like, well, everyone else does, like, Asian inspired, like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, she's getting hit in all these different ways. So if she's really taking the lesson, learning it, and applying it, because now that she did the thing with the Migos, she wasn't in the cornrows. She was more that kind of, like, Iggy Pop kind of look for herself.
Right.
And then she brought that. So, it's kind of like, I want to be there, but then Courtney hit on the head. She's like, I would have loved it 10 times more if she wasn't promoting an album.
Yeah.
Yeah, if she was naturally trying to do this. And also, I don't know, I get tired of, yes, not everybody knows things, and if they don't know something, you have to tell them the proper way if it's offending people, but I don't want to be educating. I'm tired of educating people. I'm tired of educating white folks. I'm tired of teaching white people.
I got to tell you why not to touch my hair.
Yeah, exactly.
I got to tell you why the police shouldn't shoot me. Right. I got to tell you, I'm tired. Okay?
I'm tired of it.
We all live in America. Why do I have to make it plain to all of you all the time?
If a black man is tall and 6'2", walking at night, we are not robbing you. We are not trying to break into your house.
You are just
I'm tired of educating you right now.
I'm not assuming that you are going to try to string me up or change. Like, I don't assume your history of your culture is what, mine. Like, I just don't understand why we all live in the same country. We all watch the news. Maybe if this was 1970. And we ain't have no cable, and we ain't got no, internets, and we real segregated, then I'll be like, okay. I might have to to still teach us something because you don't interact with no black folks and you don't
Right.
cross. Like, I get it. You could watch TV. People got all. D-Ray got a whole YouTube like of clicks, and you could be like, Black Lives Matter. Let me just listen and see what I can learn and be like. Why do you have to wait for somebody to give you the information
Right.
when we have access to so much information all the time? It's a choice.
Educate yourself. When someone brings that look to you and those ideas, educate yourself to
Ask
make
them,
sure
why
that's
you
the
choose
proper
that?
thing.
What
Why did you
about
choose that?
Like
Right.
what cornrows? You know, black girls wear cornrows. That's why you thought it was cool to begin with.
Right.
like, so talk to a black person. Be like, well, what do
Is
you
it
think
cool
about
if I
this?
do it?
You know,
Right.
whatever. Like, stop acting like you. I had no idea.
I know.
And did you
what
not
was
learn from
going on.
Kylie Jenner when she got the slack for the cornrows?
No, this video was way before
This
that.
was before.
Oh, that's
yeah,
true.
this was a long time ago.
You're right.
But
It
it's
was.
just,
But
it's
still.
exhausting.
That's what I'm saying, because it was like when you said that thing about the album, I totally agree with that. But then when I really do think about it, it never was kind of repeated afterwards. So I'm like, I don't know, because I just think everything's marketing,
Yeah,
and you know my
it
conspiracy
is.
brain. But I just think it's interesting.
But I don't want to like slam her.
No, I mean-
if she's being genuine and she
Right.
really does feel now she feels in a better place and educated about it and wouldn't do it again, like, that is kudos to you, Katie. Thank you, and thank you for sharing that. But it is exhausting.
Or okay. For example, I mean, I know I don't want to beat this to death, but
Maybe murder it.
What'd you say?
Murder it.
No, I'm saying when Britney Spears came out with, Slave for You, right? That was a different thing for her because it was, she was with the Neptunes, she was with Pharrell, and it changed her image, and she was bringing something different. It was more her being a little bit more R&B.
But she was
still
still
She wasn't
herself. But
blacking it up.
That's what I'm saying. She still was authentic.
It was just the
Britney.
beat
It was the
made
beat,
it
but
hip-hop.
she still was who Britney Spears is. I feel like when I watch Katy Perry, she's always just been super white to me, and when I see her put on, do these different things, I don't believe it as much. I just don't believe it. I feel like it's
like
her
Taylor
stylist
Swift.
saying, "Hey, wear this, and this will be cool on you," and it has nothing. I don't know. I just don't buy it.
But that's her shtick. Like, as a pop star, she wears costumes and is like.
I mean, I get it, but
Well, that's part
But
of
it's, like,
understanding that
tone-appropriate.
cornrows aren't necessarily
A
a
costume.
costume. Like,
right, yeah, that's a
you've
cultural-
turned a cultural act
Right.
into a costume,
Right,
and maybe
right.
in some
That's a bigger issue.
In some way, that is something to be discussed. Like, whatever. Good luck, Katie.
Good luck, Katie. I hope your album sells.
Probably not, because Taylor shaded you, girl.
She did.
And I don't really care about Taylor Swift, but that is one petty bit. I was like, what?
I'm like, she made Katie have to stay up for 24 or 48 hours.
Didn't
Right.
even know. She was like, oh, you dropping an album? Here's all of mine. Take them, girl. Take it. Look.
Katie's like, shit, we're gonna have to live stream for 2-3 days.
And that was not an
Right.
accident either. People like, oh, she was planning. No, girl,
No.
she knew that. She knew. Whatever. Anyway, good luck, y'all. White girls live.
I would love to know if they're in the same label too.
Oh.
Like to know if that information was leaked out.
Right, that's a good point.
But that's just some
Hashtag white girls
strong,
who wear
like,
braids.
The next feuds.
like, and I feel like this has to be more than just about some dancers.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what the hell happened with y'all?
I guarantee you, it's about an album being pushed back or something like on that type of a level.
But why Taylor so mad? Taylor the one winning.
She's definitely winning.
But she feel whatever. We're not here
Right,
to
I
talk
don't
about
care.
Taylor Swift or Katy Perry
No.
anymore. What
No,
we
we're
are
giving
going to
them too
talk
much
about
airtime.
is Keven Hart, who sat down with Queen O at Oprah's Masterclass, and he was basically, he's got a book out. It's #1 on the New York Times bestseller list right now.
Okay.
Shout out to him. Congratulations. That's amazing. And basically, he was speaking about his relationship with his ex-wife, Tori Hart, and
Tori.
how, Tori is awesome. And he basically was like taking full responsibility for the demise of his marriage, saying he, was starting to get some fame. He was living in the Hollywood lifestyle and going out, and he was just hella immature. He was a child. And it took, the separation and them getting away from each other. And he's spoken in an interview previously that it got physical. And he knew, like, at that moment that it was like, we need to not be together right now. I need to figure my stuff out. So he, separated from her and has since remarried and is expecting a child. But the thing that sort of ignited people on social media and across a few blogs and whatnot was that he was saying how he was immature and he needed to work on himself and all of this. And the question sort of was brought up, well, if you recognize that and that what Tori was necessarily doing wasn't nagging or wasn't being a whatever, she was just trying to make you step up as a man, why once you understood that, did you not go back to your wife and try to make it work with your family? is it really a requirement once you've sort of grown up that a new woman has to be introduced in the situation? And because there's this whole sort of thing around women that are like, when you're the first wife, you don't want to be the one building up and making this man into this greatness for somebody else, and he moves on to the next woman. So there was some people chatting online about like, oh, if you really it was about like you growing up, like go back and fix it with your wife,
like,
with
I
your
need
kids,
to leave
and keep
you
your family together.
I love you, and I
love you, and I need to better myself and all that. You go and do that,
like my
but you need another woman now.
That sound like my roommate.
Oh, Jesse.
I mean, I just realized how blast you just put that out there right now.
Sure did.
Okay.
Do you really need another woman once you have gone on to fix and become a better man?
I think that you didn't leave to be a better man. I think you left because...
I think that this is a tough one right here.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead.
It's a good tough.
This is a good tough. Okay, let's just be honest about here. And not every man wants to be monogamous, and not every man, even though. Wow, let's see. This is a good one here.
Learn and
because I'm talking in general. I am not talking about anyone specifically.
Right.
I'm just saying in general.
Absolutely.
But I think that men, as a man, we are not trained always to just be with one woman. And I think there's always a fantasy of a man wanting to be.
Who's training?
Well, I'm saying like like growing up, your parents train you. You're trained by your parents.
Don't your parents train you to be with a woman? I don't know too many parents that train their boys. So
like get out here,
get all the hoes in the world.
It's usually different. Like it's a different. The way my sister was brought up, the way I was brought up is totally different. My sister was brought up, get married, have a family, that kind of thing. It wasn't that way in my.
It wasn't as strong.
It was you find somebody, but make sure you do your thing.
Play the field at some point. Yeah.
So I think that is something that's instilled in us. Maybe I shouldn't use the word train, but I'm gonna call it training. It is training. We were trained by our parents.
That's fair.
So
because we train girls not to be hoes, but we okay it for guys.
And this is when I say this statement here, this is not towards Kevin Hart and Tori.
This is just in general.
This is just in general, just so everybody knows that. But also, there is, I will speak generally, but men, I do think that probably certain times if a man doesn't have money and he marries a certain woman at the beginning, there is a lot of different tang that comes to him afterwards when he has a certain stature that may be a different type of tang that he really is wait
a minute, hold on. I need to like really process what you just said.
I think we need the Urban Dictionary. What is tang?
Tang, I'm like,
you talking about poo-tang?
Yeah, poo-tang.
You talking about poo-tang on the BHL network, Lord help me.
We've talked about words. What are you talking about?
Remember that movie? If you think your pootie tang, you know that you're probably on a dance floor.
What I'm saying is when a man, I'm sure it happens for women too. But when a man gets to a certain place in his career and he has a lot of money coming towards him, the quality of the level of females that come at him are probably
so the woman who was by him when
I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that this is a general statement. I'm just saying that this is real life. But you just said the
quality. So in your mind, the quality of women, I mean, to me, a quality woman would be someone who would put up with somebody who seems to probably be a little bit difficult, which both of them in the situation maybe. But I mean, either or, if you're sitting there and you're riding for your man who isn't supporting, and then your man gets something, a little bit of money, to say that, okay, well now he's gonna find something new and better because he got some coin now, that's quality? That's just going out and finding somebody who's looking for something like that. Whereas the girl who was sitting there by your side, shining the rust off.
I'm more talking about physicalities then. Maybe physicality. So maybe not quality in the sense. Why are you looking at me like that?
Wait, so the broke girl.
You act like this ain't new. And I mean, every day you go on the news. Go on People magazine. I'm not saying I did it or would do it. I'm saying that is the way men think. You acting like men don't think that way. Go look on every magazine cover. People divorcing their first wives all the time, and then they go get their younger girl. This is everyday life. Movies are made off this every day. So I'm not saying nothing that nobody don't know.
I mean, feel you.
I'm just saying that this is you trying to ask. You asked me the question. I'm telling you what men probably think and how they think.
So I think it's bullshit. I think that it's.
I'm not saying it's right. It's not. It's not.
I think
right.
Kevin
If somebody
Hart's
rides or
bullshit. I
die
think
for you,
that is.
I can't say that Kevin Hart is bullshit because I'm sure there were other circumstances with that. Tori's a beautiful woman. She's a sexy woman, and they have a great relationship right now. So I applaud them for their divorced relationship because I feel like, hell,
Make it work for the
I've
kids.
never heard, you don't hear negative stuff, but she talks very highly of him. He talks very highly of her, and they are bringing up their kids to me in a very great environment for a divorced family.
Yeah.
And he's adding on to his family with someone else. But in general, I'm gonna say it's like, that is the way men think. I mean, I'm not saying all. I'm not generalizing everybody. I'm just saying
T.I. and Tiny.
some people you can, like you just said, T.I. and Tiny. I think what happens is, I think it's just the cycle of a lot of people. You maybe get curious of something that is different than what you have because you're used to what you have, and everybody thinks the grass is green on the other side. And then when a man gets a certain amount of money, and there's these, maybe he wasn't able to get models before, and maybe that curiosity is there. Let's just be honest, maybe that hot chick who is, who the world may consider a 10, he was only able to get a 6 before he got money, and now he's like, maybe I want to do that. I'm not saying that's right, but I'm saying that's probably how a lot of people think, and we see it all the time.
I just see like Forrest Whitaker in my head.
His wife is gorgeous.
No, I know. I just like he would play that character though.
Forrest Whitaker.
I don't know. Just like that.
I'm just saying,
Well,
that's just my opinion, and that's.
No, I mean I agree. I think that this is the society we have built. I don't know.
well, I will say that
But women do it too.
the question being posed,
not as much.
really.
Not as much, but women do it.
If you down, you down usually. But regardless, I would say that the question that was posed was why not go back to your wife and rebuild? And in a theoretical circumstance, I think that would be amazing for anybody that can make that happen. But I do also understand that sometimes the damage that was done at the time cannot be overcome. And it has very little to do with, I grew up and now I'm better for you. It's because what broke it to begin with is irreparable.
And also, you changed. Maybe he changed. Maybe in that process of growing up, he realized that maybe something that he thought he wanted before, he didn't anymore. So can't fault him for that.
And also in the end, we play this whole people change and whatever. We have to learn that we have to grow together if we want to be married.
That's what blows my mind about marriage.
Well, that's a whole
don't
different
get
subject.
married.
Just
But
don't get married then.
Because you are not going to be the same person at 25 as you are at 55.
And you have to understand that. And it's like, I just had this conversation with somebody. I'm just like, literally, I question some people's grandparents or things like that because I would go and see why are they sleeping in different rooms? You know what I mean? And
all
then
the
you
time.
And you wonder okay, well maybe
together.
grandpa messed around with, the mailman down the street or something, but it's never spoken about. They work it out, and it's like cuz they have to do it for the family to grow. Like it's just like crazy.
My aunt and uncle, hopefully they ain't listening, but they've been together for like 30 years and they haven't slept in the same room in probably 20 years, not 20, but 15.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
And people are like, why are y'all still together? But they like, they don't really answer the question. So to me, that's unhealthy. Listen, auntie, go get your whatever, and uncle, go get your whatever.
Well, we've also moved into this whole world of we're all supposed to be able to self-satisfied, and I'm supposed to be living my best life, and all of this sort of rhetoric that didn't exist
I have an
years
Instagram
ago.
quote for you.
So whatever. People. Anyway, we're gonna move on because we're gonna talk about.
Because we could talk about that for
real.
That could be a whole episode of BHL. We should and bring relationship people in here.
And marriage.
That would be a good one. We might have to do that. Tell us what you think about that.
This week, life.
This week life. All about the
Life and
business. All right. So all about the business was Miss Kamala Harris, or Senator Kamala Harris, who was in the Senate Intelligence hearing this week, questioning our Attorney General. Pardon me, Mr. Jeff Sessions. And just like last week, when she was trying to question Comey, and she was getting look, let him talk from her fellow male old ass white man senators, they decided to take that back up this week and prove once again that women scare men, apparently, because this was she was questioning Jeff Sessions basically very directly, and she wasn't being super aggressive. He just wasn't answering the question, so she kept powering back questions. But what I asked you was this. But what I asked you was this. He's talking about, oh, you're making me nervous, and if I don't say what let me finish so I can, because you're making me nervous, and if I don't answer, you're gonna call me a liar. And then Senator John McCain is over on the side talking about, let him answer the question. And then the other senator who was running the whole session was like, senators, please let everybody answer the question while she's still trying to talk. So they basically are cutting her off while she's trying to, because each senator gets their few minutes, whatever it is, 2 or 3 minutes, 7 minutes, I don't know, to ask whatever questions they want to the Attorney General. Seems like Kamala was the one that everybody needed to interrupt and tell her she's not letting him do enough and say enough and whatever, while all the other senators can ask their questions however they want, interrupt sessions as much as they want if he's not answering the question, but apparently it's a problem when grown women do it. Do we make y'all nervous?
I think I'm not nervous of a strong woman. That's what I was raised by, and I'm definitely not afraid of that. But there are a lot of men who have that old school mentality of a woman still needs to be in her certain place, and I think that's changing now. But these are also these old school
Gotta get rid of them.
They got to die before that all changes. You know what I mean? So once this. The new millennial age, that's not going to be an issue.
Yeah, and then, I don't know if you guys saw, I don't think it was a TED Talks, but it was something similar, and it was like this female scientist or something like that on a panel of like all these male scientists, and they were there to interview her for her work, and she was like, starts explaining it, and then the host, like, they all start explaining her work for her, and the audience started booing and was like, let her finish. I was like, the audacity of people. It was
so embarrassing.
People are rude.
They don't even realize they're doing it, I don't think. I think they just think
we're helping her. We're helping her.
Like, you're not hearing him out. Like, I don't need to hear him out. He started answering a question that I didn't ask. So
Right.
I'm going to take it back to the question that I asked. But
it's too much logic and structure.
Yeah, pretty much. You're talking a little too much. You're going a little too fast. But when he said, "Will you calm down? You're making me nervous if I can't answer," I was like, first of all, he couldn't remember anything for most of the hearing. Every time he got asked a question, I don't really recall. I literally tweeted like, "Bro, if you can't recall most of the stuff, how about you maybe have a memory issue and maybe you should just retire?
Yeah.
Well,
Like, go sit down.
Yeah.
Somewhere else."
Well, it's interesting. I was at this entertainment panel a couple of weeks ago, and there was an executive producer there, a woman, and then there was a couple other producers who were men. They were, older, but they had been producing a lot of projects. Some had directed. At one point in that panel, one of the producers said to the executive producer, who's the woman, he called her sweetie. And she, after she had made her statement, and he thought he did nothing wrong. You saw that instant in her eye where she was like, "This woman just called me sweetie," and she actually stopped and was like, Don't call me sweetie. And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," But that goes back to the point. It's that old school mentality of sweetie, oh, calm down. You're getting emotional, sweetie, And she was like, "I got you, sweetie, homie." And she was higher up than him, producing more projects than he was, and younger.
Wow.
So
no, we just talked about it too. That some guy referenced to a woman as, "Oh yeah, females be crazy." And she took such offense to it, and Courtney was like, that's like 90s kind of slangs. Like, and then when you start putting it together with where people come from, and it's just crazy.
Crazy,
This
but
is that PC culture, yo.
PC culture, that's another,
It just doesn't even, whatever. I hate
You would
when
not
people
want
say
anybody to call you
PC.
sweetie, right? You would go off on
I actually wouldn't, but
Really?
I'm also
I'm
Southern.
surprised.
I'm also Southern,
If
and
you were
I
talking
don't.
on a panel-
If I wouldn't.
And a man, if you were talking on a panel and a man was like, you're trying to make your point. He's
If
like,
you
sweetie.
shush me and call me sweetie, that's something else.
Okay, that's true. Okay.
But some people are very offended just by the term being used because they immediately assume it's condescending.
Right.
And I mean, in a lot of cases, yeah, it is and it can be. But for me, it also, because I call people honey when I'm not supposed to. So I understand to a certain degree that it could just happen because it's a part of how you talk to people.
And ma'am too, isn't it?
And ma'am, and I say ma'am all the time because I was raised to say ma'am and sir.
Right.
So, and it's gotten less that way because people are actually offended by me calling them ma'am and whatever. So anyway.
I was at Ralph's the other day and accidentally said sir to a person who's not a sir. It was a ma'am, and I felt real bad about it, but that's a different subject.
Correct you?
They looked at me like I had 15 heads and probably wanted to slap the out of me. I was like, "Excuse me, sir." "Oh, ma'am." But by that time, it was already too late.
2017 problems.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to move on to something that's not a problem with our EUR Web Story Spotlight of the Week. We don't get our music today.
EUR.
They're trying to get us off of the thing.
I guess so. They don't like it. They don't like our music no more. All right. So there was just a recent listing from Forbes magazine on the top earning celebrities, and one thing that I found super interesting about this is that 3 of them were the Canadian invasion. You had The Weeknd, who actually is gracing the cover of Forbes, and it's a dope picture of him. I'm glad he cut his hair. Still, he got the high top
he's like
fade.
kind of not recognizable anymore.
Yeah.
He kind of just looks like a cute black guy.
But it's but he's got the high top that's going pretty high now.
But
I like the way they
everybody's
covered the R and the B in the Forbes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He looks great.
It's a good picture. I mean, I think it's dope that they put him on the cover. I mean, personally. So the 3 Canadians that graced is Beyonce, right?
Beyonce was pushing babies out. She didn't have time.
The 3 Canadians that are going to be featured in this are The Weeknd, as I mentioned, who made an estimated $92 million
That I
over the
couldn't
last
believe.
12 months. $92
That I couldn't
million.
believe. Because I was like, I know you're doing well, but I just didn't think you were doing.
I didn't know he was doing
His
that
music's
well.
everywhere.
It is everywhere. It is everywhere. He's about to do that tour too. I'm thinking about going to that tour. We should go to that tour. Drake earned more than that. Drake earned $94 million.
That I buy.
And then Justin Bieber earned $83.5 million. I was like, Justin just be making money. Did he? Oh, he did have
He's
the
on
album
tour.
out. Yeah, he had that album. Yeah, that's where they get all the
He's
big
always
money.
getting
is that tour.
fight. Like that's why I didn't think The Weeknd. I was like, were you touring like the whole year and I didn't realize it? Because I know he dropped that album.
Yeah, and all those songs like I'm Starboy, they get commercials.
Yeah, I did see Starboy.
But I never assume they all own their own publishing and stuff. So like stuff like that, I don't assume they're actually making all that much money from
money.
it.
But see, like with a Rihanna, I would think that, but with The Weeknd, where like what I believe is that he is
That
involved.
yeah.
So
Well, no country has more stars in the top 6 than Canada currently because of those 3. Now, this is just a quick listing of the top 10. A couple of these will be repeated. Number 1 was the biggest moneymaker was Diddy, which I was surprised by. Diddy with $130 million. I was surprised that Diddy's the number 1. Beating Beyonce, Diddy? I don't know.
He made some good investments somewhere.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It must be, because I'm like...
I mean, I don't really know what they are, but...
I mean, $130 million. Beyonce was number 2 at $105 million. J.K. Rowling, $95 million. He's an author, if you guys don't know who that is.
That's a girl.
She's an author, if you don't know who that is.
if you don't know,
If I don't know who that is, I do know who that is. Actually, now that you say
Harry
it.
Potter.
It's Harry Potter. Drake, $94 million. Cristiano Ronaldo. How do you pronounce
Cristiano Ronaldo. He making that kind of money?
93 million.
yes,
93 million. 93 million. I already mentioned The Weeknd in
Daddy.
I already mentioned The Weeknd in 92. Howard Stern at number 7 with 90 million.
I wish.
Coldplay at 88 million. James Patterson, author, 87 million. LeBron James at 86 million. And the rest of the full list is on Forbes.com.
All
But
right,
I'm like,
kids.
what am I doing wrong with my life? Can I
Apparently
get
a lot.
1 million? Can I get 1 million?
Not shitting out albums like Beyonce.
Clearly,
Babies.
I chose the
right?
wrong path. Well, we can
That's
make an
my
album. Let's make the
album.
BHL This Week album.
Out.
Listen,
have an idea.
we know how to do tracks. We can do good. I can sing.
Do
So,
tracks.
you know.
Give
You
us
mean
a little
sewing?
something.
No, I'm not
You
gonna do it
mean
today. I'm not ready.
tracks?
We didn't talk about relationships. I'm a little
Relationships.
dry.
Give us a little blue. R&B
I'm
blue.
a little dry in the voice today. Sorry.
A little dry. In the
All right,
voice.
so that good for them. Congratulations. Go pick up
That's awesome.
the issue or go online.
Feel free to donate. I can start a
Feel free.
GoFundMe
Yes.
to help a sister out.
Yes.
Adopt me.
Yep. Adopt.
I would take adoption.
You would take adoption.
I would be okay being adopted. I'd even change my name.
All right. Well.
You want to call me? I don't even know.
I mean,
Whatever.
it depends on the money, but yeah, I'm here for that.
Well, we're gonna end on a very positive note. I don't have anything to say after that.
So it's like, I don't want to be adopted.
I don't want to be adopted.
He's
I
like,
just
I'm
want
a
some of that
grown-ass
cash, but
man.
I would like some of that cash, though. This is a positive story. This is not the image for the story because we have the Boko
That's all good.
Haram story, but it's okay. Well, we all know about the 276 girls that were kidnapped from the Boko Haram in 2014, and only 57 of those girls have actually escaped. That was obviously, we've been covering that for many years, and that was a really huge story. But what I'm happy to report is 2 of the kidnapped Nigerian girls who escaped the captivity from the Boko Haram have actually earned their high school degrees or high school diplomas.
Cool.
So according to the EMC, which stands for the Education Must Continue, a governmental organization involved in getting education to Nigerian girls abroad. The 2 girls have been identified as Debbie and Grace, graduated after completing their junior and senior year at a private school in Washington, D.C. They are also the first girls kidnapped to graduate from an American high school after meeting academic standards.
Awesome.
So kudos to those girls. I hope that they go on to have some amazing lives.
And they will.
And they've been through a lot, and it's still scary that a lot of those girls have not still been found yet. So send those prayers and things out there. I know Obama was trying to make some really big efforts to make that happen. I haven't heard anything from Mr. You-know-who, so I don't even know where that lies. You might as well put your shades back down on that one, Courtney. But the positive is that these girls have gotten their diplomas, and
Congratulations.
Look
That's amazing.
forward to seeing what they do in this world, because I'm sure it's going to be some amazing things.
Yes.
All right, that's all I got for today.
That's it.
Courtney, where can fans find you?
You guys find me some food right now. You can find me. I'm so hungry. It's insane.
I'm so hungry.
You can follow me on all the social medias at Stuart Starlet.
Jesse.
Boom, everywhere DJ Jesse J.
You can find me at Derrial Christon on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat. Everywhere else, social media. I just like to list them all because I just like to know where
He's
I
like,
actually
I'm
am.
all over
I just like to know
Snapchat.
where
I'm
I
on
am.
Facebook.
Just have that moment to just
And
You're
think
really
about
giving
that.
me an actor. Like I
You can
totally see
send me a
FX,
DM.
People's Court.
Well, listen, hire me because
He's like, I will act what you want me to do.
Put me on Forbes. All right, hire me first. Let me make some money. All right, everybody have a great weekend. We will see you next week.
Bye.
From executives Keven Undergaro, Derrial Christon, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live. Simply Instagram at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.